I'm standing outside the door of the Black Death's latest victim. This virulent attacker of our residents has not only reduced our quaint town to the mere shadow of its former self, but has affected our entire country and its way of life. As each new victim has been engulfed by this disease, we have become suspect of anyone in case they might infect us. As the bodies pile up in the streets with not enough time in the day to dispose of them, we become more and more worried if we will be next. Commerce has been impeded. All we know is the traders from the east brought this horror with them on their trading ships. I'm Patrick. If there had been news reporters in time of the 1300s, this might have been the beginning of the report on the plague, which was commonly known as the Black Death, based on the body's reaction to the infection, which started when a person was bitten by an infected flea or rat. The disease infected the lymph nodes in the armpits or groin, which then slowly filled with pus, causing the black appearance which gave the plague its name, Black Death. The disease was accompanied by fever. This plague was brought by rats in ships from Asia and the Middle East, which was part of the commercial trading that brought goods to the West. Some people thought that it was God trying to smite them for wrongdoing, and because of this, there were two groups of people that reacted differently. One which felt that they should drink and be merry at this dire time, as it might be their last chance to do so, and the second group of people isolated themselves and would find a house that was empty and keep to themselves, to help ensure that they would not become infected with the disease. The medicine of the current time was ineffective in treating the disease. Bleeding of victims left them even more weak and unable to fight the disease. In addition, the fumigation of vinegar did nothing. The people of the time believed there was no correlation between the rats and the disease itself. Plus, at this time, there was no notion of bacterial infection existing. This made the medical people of the time helpless, as they did not know how to contain the spread of the disease, which allowed it to rapidly infect entire towns at a time, wiping out large percentages. Towns were harder hit by the disease due to the larger number of people and the lack of sanitation. Standard practice at the time was to simply throw waste out of the window onto the street and wait for the next heavy rain to take it away, making the towns a good breeding ground for the rats. Widespread death of the poor caused a shortage of labor. This allowed those who survived a larger bargaining power. The plague caused urban growth because it broke up the traditional way of doing things. Those who survived the plague moved from their rural homes into towns where jobs were now more readily available. People also took advantage of vacancies for tenant farmers at manors where the Lord was short of workers. The plague even had its impact on art. Christians were used to having their funerals in their traditional manner. Now with so many deaths, there wasn't time for a proper burial for everyone. This changed people's perception of death. For once it was a release into a better life, now it was feared and cause for anxiety. These fears were depicted in the art of the time, such as the Dance of Death. The plague lasted from 1347 to 1375, influencing change in the West's way of life not only from an economic standpoint, but also a mental standpoint, as they were now afraid of their own mortality and the unknown. This impacted people's outlook on their religion, the arts, and how the entire society functioned.